Start of the night, first call. We've got a shooting near the new 6th Street Bridge because we can't have nice things.
7 up there, United States 67.
Suspects are described as 4. Ooh, they might be behind the suspects right now. There's 4.
Supervisor following a possible shooting suspect 5 south on approaching Olympic.
Okay. Hang on. Sorry. I thought I heard a siren, and the last thing you want to do is come into an intersection with somebody who's responding on a shooting. So it does sound like they might have the shooting suspects. Southbound 5 freeway at Olympic. We're rolling up at the shooting location. Here comes another unit. We're going to the actual shooting location. That's going to be right over here near the 6th Street Bridge.
5 South freeway.
But I'm not 100% sure that it happened on the bridge. They're thinking that it might have. There's a unit blocking the traffic right now, and they're going 5 southbound to the. They're going 5 southbound.
Continuing 710 south, approaching Washington Boulevard.
All right, and they're setting up crime scene tape, so we want to go.
Oh yeah. We're continuing southbound 710 south.
All right, we're gonna go
Atlantic Boulevard.
710 south at Atlantic.
On the southbound 110, approaching Atlantic, vehicles are West Utah license 8 Paul Mary John 825.
What kind of suspect?
All right, let's get those shots real quick. So it didn't happen on the bridge, but still interesting. God, it is cold as ice. Letting cars go through. There's cars in the crime scene. That's good. We're not allowed in, but all these cars are allowed in. 499, you got the possible suspects on this shooting heading southbound on the 5. LAPD's in pursuit or following right now, I'm not sure. sorry I'm not being super communicative right now. We're just trying to get our bearings, trying to get my bearings, I should say. We had a shooting over here. It's going to be at Mateo, right at the entrance of the 6th Street Bridge, which is crazy because we usually park right here when we do anything on the bridge. What I can tell you right now, there's a bunch of bullet casings on the corner right there, sorry, on the sidewalk, right near 6th and Mateo Studio. I think there's a bar down here. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to check on Google Maps. The interesting thing, there's a wine bottle actually broken in the street over there as well. So I'm assuming there was a fight, but we did hear that our suspects, 4 of them, one of them was wearing a shirt that said "in memory of" somebody with a picture on it. So this might be a retaliatory shooting, I should say, which does happen from time to time, where you have an incident that happens somewhere else, and then the guys that are related to that victim will go and find the guys that they think are suspects from that incident, and then they'll do this. They'll get into another shooting. So it's kind of a vicious. Ooh. Sounds like the bus hit the curb. That's not good. So it's kind of pretty much a vicious cycle at that point, where you've got one group going after the other, and that's where you end up with like the Hatfield and McCoy type situation that we get on the streets. So there's a bunch of people over there that look like witnesses. There's also a memorial for a bicyclist that was run over right here. I don't think that's related, but kind of spooky either way. So let me get a shot of some of these guys down there and see what else we got. So I'm seeing 5, they just put 5 casing markers down just now. And it looks like they're actually detaining a few of the people down there that are either witnesses or they're involved somehow, but they're getting detained as we speak. So, trying to get a hold of Keith. Hey, 331 or 499, you guys up? It's cold.
331, go ahead. I'm about 2 minutes going, code 6 on a double GSW, one confirmed fatal, second one multiple GSW, city of West Covina.
Wow.
They got sheriffs in West Covina, pretty much searching for a possible active shooter.
Okay, copy that. Focus on that. Disregard 499. Yep. So it sounds like Randy's on a active shooter in West Covina. I don't think anything else is going on, but yeah. So again, we had a shooting. 1 victim hit. We got the RA loading up our victim. There's a ton of witnesses down there that they have to interview now. So I think for right now, we've got the bullet casings, we got the scene, we got the ambulance leaving, we got pretty much everything. So unless there's a sergeant that comes over, there's really not much more that we need to do. So I'm gonna get a couple more shots, B-roll, cutaways, and then we're out of here. We'll be out of here. So we just got a call for a vehicle versus a hydrant that City Fire is not actually able to, I don't want to say turn off, but shut off. It's like, they say that they shut off the fire, and I'm like, or they turned off the fire. Probably not. So, what are you doing? Pick a lane. Hi. Jesus. So, a lot of times in this area on Alameda, we get the big rigs that come down here with these, they're pretty long trailers for the area. The area is pretty tight as far as the streets and how to get around. So a lot of times they'll clip a hydrant and they'll pop it off, and they don't even realize they've done it, which is kind of the interesting part, I would think. But there's definitely a hydrant going. Oh, it's a big one. It's very high. So, oh, they just left it. All right, if they're gonna leave it and not really do anything, and it's up in high voltage lines too, and then look, they actually opened the hydrant down the street. Oh no, they're down, okay, so they're not leaving, they are, you know, actually let's go around and you guys can see what they're doing. So they're trying to get the hydrant, the level of the hydrant lower. So look at all the water here out the right, wow. So the firefighter right in front of us, here, we'll flip around. Don't do it while I'm here. He's actually opening that hydrant. You see that to the right? You just missed it. So we'll flip around here. So he actually just opened the hydrant. Isn't that cool? Can you see it? Mm-hmm. So he opened the hydrant right there, and then they opened the hydrant on the other side down the street. And what that does, oh, we're right in the middle. Ah. So what that does is that actually decreases, can you see it? So he's decreasing the pressure on the hydrant up the street. You see how it's come down out of the power lines? So now it's not as high. Because when it's up in the high voltage lines, the big concern then is that the water is going to conduct the electricity in the power lines. So when they open the hydrant here, and then they open the hydrant way down the street, they're taking that pressure on the block, or on 2 blocks in this case, and they're lowering the pressure at the hydrant itself, which is pretty cool. So I like that. It's a neat strategy. It works really well, obviously. We're gonna continue down though, and we're gonna go back to where the actual hydrant is. And we're gonna, because they're picking up their member, he's actually opening a bunch of hydrants. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna film what they did, why that's important, obviously. We'll talk about that in the story. Get the water off the thing here. We'll get the water off the windshield. We'll show what they did with the hydrant. You know, we're gonna pull past it a little bit, just so we don't get mist all over my lens, which is already kind of misty from last night's adventure for sure. So you can see there's a gate. There's a gate right here. I don't know if the truck came out of that gate or if maybe a car went up on the sidewalk and hit it, or if a truck hit it. But again, usually, just speaking from experience down here, it's the big rigs when the trailer swings out. They don't always they're not always paying attention to the hydrants, because you know a lot of times they'll jump the curb and stuff like that, and it's usually not a big deal. But on this one, because and the helicopter's above us here, ships up looking at the water. It's kind of cool. I love this shot though. Look at that with the water going and the light. Isn't that beautiful? That's really cool. Let's get a shot of that before it disappears. Love that. Love that. Super cool. It's neat because they've opened those hydrants and made it so that they can actually get that water out of the high voltage lines. That's the important part here. Perfect. That was cool. really cool because we've got 2 hydrants down that way that are open. Oh, there we go. So we've got 2 hydrants open south of us on Alameda, looks like 2. And then we've got a 3rd one north of us on Alameda that's open. Really, really cool idea. Again, they requested DWP, Department of Water and Power, for us. Instead of waiting on DWP, again, because the only reason they couldn't shut it down is because it was up in these high voltage lines right here. So instead of waiting for DWP to arrive, they're like, hey, you know what? We're just gonna open the hydrants and we're gonna let the water pressure decrease. And when you do that, it takes your height. I remember when we showed up how high this thing was. It takes that pressure and it brings it down, and then the height of the hydrant that's gone off goes down too. Something kind of unique for LA. I don't know if this is common everywhere in the world. I've had people tell me that it's not. We have wet hydrants, obviously. So if you hit a hydrant in Los Angeles, I think in most of California, you get this, you get a geyser. In other states, other countries, I'm sure, where it gets really cold, they actually have dry hydrants. I'm assuming they call it a dry hydrant. They might have another name for it, but it's a situation where the hydrant itself doesn't have water at the head, at the top. The water's at the valve in the ground, so when they show up, they hook up to it like they're fighting a fire, right, and it's cold out. They hook up to the hydrant, and then they actually open the water line from down underground, which is what these guys are shutting off right now. So yeah, kind of unique for us here. We have water on tap on the hydrant 24/7, which is kind of cool. Once they shut this one off though, what will happen is LA DWP, again, Department of Water and Power, they'll have to come out. They're gonna have to reattach the hydrant to the fittings on the ground. They actually have shear bolts in there, so if a car hits it, they pop and they shear and they don't damage the pipe in the concrete, because that would be a much more difficult repair, obviously. So when a car hits or even backs into a hydrant here, they just they kind of shear and they pop off. So they'll come out, they'll put new bolts in it, bolt it back on, and then they'll turn that valve back on, and that's it. That hydrant will be live again. So kind of a unique situation out here. Not a huge story, obviously. Yeah, kind of neat. I want to see these guys turn it off too. I definitely want to see the conclusion. It's kind of interesting what the firefighters are doing right now. They actually have a magnet on a string, and they're pulling the magnet back and forth so they can find the cover, because a lot of times they get paved over when they do the asphalt top. So they're actually looking with a little string with a magnet, trying to find the top cover so they can take it off and turn off the hydrant. But shut off the hydrant, I don't want to say turn off the hydrant. It's not like a light switch. You don't just like turn it off. You shut it off with a valve. That would be the correct terminology, right? You wouldn't say turn it off. No, that sounds silly. We wouldn't say that. So we're checking out a report of a fatality right here. It's on the 101 southbound at Vermont, but I'm not quite sure what we have. It's Central CHP. These guys are pretty chill, so we'll get out and see what's going on. I don't see any tape or anything like that, but 455 is going to be code 6 on the possible fatalities southbound 101 in Vermont. So Could be something, could be nothing, could be a transient that died, a homeless. Again, transient is another word for a homeless person. I know everybody has a hard time with that. I don't really see, I see a bunch of chippies, but I don't really see anything going on. So let's go check it out. It's kind of a weird off-ramp too. Oh, a sidewalk. Check that out. I've actually never walked down here. Yeah, I think it's just going to be a motorcycle incident, which we don't normally. Yeah, it's a motorcycle. Sadly, we don't normally cover this. I will film a little bit for us, but. Sadly, motorcycle, what's going on here? Motorcycle accidents and motorcycle related injuries are so common in the city that it's very, again, it's such a common thing that we don't normally film it unless there's something a little more unique. Let's take a better look, just make sure there's nothing weird about it. I think they just hit the pole over here and got launched. So, yeah, we can see the guy on the ground over here. Again, it is really sad. Again, we have a motorcyclist down over here in the roadway who's lost his life, which is, you know, never a good thing. But as of right now, it's just a solo motorcycle accident, so nothing we would actually send in. Looks like he's riding a Harley of some type. And I don't know, it's kind of a weird vibe when you see stuff like this, because I ride also, so it's like, this is always like one bad decision away from happening, or sometimes not even your fault, just kind of the way you know, bad things happen to people all the time, right? You'd be riding along, drunk driver just threw a red light, bam, that's it. So just have to always be extra careful on the bike. Hey boss, is there anything to it or just a solo motorcycle?
So far a solo motorcycle, man, yeah.
No hit and run, nothing like that?
No hit and run that we suspect, just based on where we got calls, right? So it's
just a shitty accident.
Unfortunately, that's not bad.
All right, take care.
Have a good night.
One of the biggest killers of motorcycles are guys who are riding into corners too fast that are outside of their abilities, and then they lose control and impact something. That's usually one of the biggest issues. They call it target fixation. If you want to know more about it, Google it. There's tons of examples online. It's something that happens quite often, but usually for solo motorcycle accidents, they're going into a corner too fast. And you watch a lot of these videos, and sadly enough, you see the bike that they're riding, and you go, oh man, you're watching it, and as someone who rides, I go, geez, they're totally capable of making that corner. You'll watch videos where they'd made corners that were even faster and even sharper than the one that got them in the end. But there's something in your head that kind of clicks, and you think to yourself, I'm going too fast, I can't make it, I can't do this. And then you kind of lock up, and next thing you know, you're heading right for the thing you don't want to hit. And it's a survival instinct. We fixate on things that we're afraid of, and things that we want to avoid. We look right at them. And on a bike, if you're looking at something, you go right at it. There's a guy here on YouTube that I would recommend if you do ride. His name is Dan the Fireman. He's I think he's a retired firefighter. But he rides, and he does an incredible job of actually breaking down why motorcyclists, I should say, crash, and what the major causes are, and how to prevent it. So really cool channel. I highly recommend it. Really smart guy too, very sharp. But this scene that we're leaving right now, solo motorcyclist, looks like he lost control coming off of the 101 southbound at Vermont exit. It's a very sharp right-hand turn. Lost control, could have gone over the line, hit some sand, who knows. They are not investigating it as a hit and run, so it is just a solo motorcyclist that crashed. He looks like his body impacted a pole on the off-ramp, which is probably what led to him no longer being with us, and then his motorcycle then continued across a street. So really unfortunate, and you know, we always wave to each other out on the street, and it's really shitty to see him like that. But that's the risks we take, isn't it? All right, so we're heading in on a fire in the harbor. Now it's actually in Wilmington. We've got 5 RVs on fire. I don't know if there's any victims inside the RVs, if everybody made it out or not. It's an RV park. We've got 10 mile an hour, 15 mile an hour winds. So we're trying to get down Anaheim right now, which is the east-west street, and there's tons of debris on the freeway getting in here. So we got to get in, get, you know, as much footage as we can, make sure it's clean, make sure everything's, you know, looks good. We're just trying to get over to this location right now.
50 to 75 feet of clear space.
All right.
And the wind is blowing opposite direction.
Okay, so I'm not exactly sure where we're gonna make access, but we do have quite a bit of smoke in front of us. So
downcast of embers, and hit those palm trees, and then check with the downcast. Make sure we don't get anything else taking on.
all right, so they're worried when they're talking about the ember cast and the downcast. They're talking about the all the embers that are coming off of the RVs and off of the trees and all the stuff that's over there. They're actually worried about it spreading into palm trees or the brush. I'm not too familiar with this area. We don't come down here very often, but when we do, it's usually something pretty serious like this. Again, we have, yeah, you can see, God, quite a bit of smoke. We're gonna get ourselves, we're gonna take Eubank, I think, up here and get ourselves a little further to the north on this. I think is going to be our best bet, because the smoke is going to the south. So we're going to go up to like Denny, and then we'll come in off of that speed bump. Hang tight. We're gonna, like I said, go a little bit to the north just because of the ember cast. We don't want to be involved in that. There's a lot of RVs over here. I think this is an actual RV park, though. I don't think this is a, you know, like a bunch of homeless RVs. All right, so looks like if we go here, we're going to be in a good spot. They're using wagon batteries, and they've got multiple hand lines around this as well, so it's going to be a I'm expecting a fairly quick knockdown. City's really aggressive with stuff like this. Oh, there's the backside. Okay, I see where we're at. So, yeah, we want to go right where the battalion chief is. Yeah, I like where the battalion's parked. We'll park with him. And then we'll walk in. It sounds like we do still have fire too in the back. Stinky. Like crap now, so great. All right, see you safe. All right, so I don't even know if you can see me. Here we go. So City Fire's got 5. They're saying 5 RVs. I would probably say 5 RVs and then maybe a car or 2 fully involved here at the trailer park, the RV park, I should say. But we gotta go. We gotta get this in. Alrighty. Alrighty.
Where can I leave my dog?
Excuse me, guys.
What channel though?
Out this way before door.
All right. So again, we had. They're saying 5 RVs, and then do we go the right way here?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. I got stuck in here. They're saying 5 RVs, and then maybe 1 or 2 cars at this point.
49, you're clear. Go ahead.
Hey, there you are. I didn't want to get all smoky.
Oh, that was a little too late.
Yeah, well, it's all smoked out. What is it, Grant? And what's the, let me get a street sign real quick. What's that?
You guys go behind the police line?
I'm gonna get a quick shot from right here, and then is this a crime scene?
For the firefighters request. Possible. We don't know yet.
Okay. Because it fires normally. Yeah. I'll get a shot, and then we'll get out of here. Cool. I appreciate it. Thank you.
After the firefighters.
No, I understand. Yeah. All good. All right. Cool. We are out of here. Yeah, at a fire they can't really tell us to leave, but it's the harbor, and obviously they don't deal with news photographers very often. But again, we got all the shots we need, so last thing I'm gonna do is cause a stink. You gotta pick your battles. All right, let's get this in, up, and out. Whew, I hate the smell of the RV fires. It's like the worst, and that was like the mega version. So we're just clearing off of this RV fire in McFarland. Sorry, I'm a little... We have 2 fires tonight, or just the one?
Just the one.
I thought we had smoke on something else.
Fire yesterday.
It was yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh. Ugh. Enough of the fires. It's just like, ugh. Feels terrible. So, RV fire. They're saying 5 RVs. We're going. I saw a truck and maybe another car that was on fire. It's kind of hard to tell. It was all kind of a jumbled mess. LA City Fire did reach out to Arson via their cell phone. I don't think if they're going to have them respond or not yet. I haven't heard that on the radio. However, when you have that many things on fire that quickly, that's usually not a good sign. So that it's that it's a normal fire, right? So they did primary search, which is the initial search of the RVs to see if there are any victims or anything like that. They said that it's negative. They didn't find any victims, but that is. They have to do a secondary search as well, so they're gonna have to get in there and kind of open everything up and see if there's anyone in there. the initial reports that they were getting from outside is that everybody had evacuated, which is great. Usually if you have a fire where people haven't evacuated, you hear people outside screaming like, oh, I'm looking for Joey, where's Joey, or whoever, right? So we didn't hear any of that. Everybody was very calm. They evacuated very, very orderly, which was pretty cool to see. But outside of that, yeah, kind of an interesting fire in an RV park. And it's so dangerous too, right? Like the RVs are like the cars, are like the boats. Anytime you have the hell is that? Giant tumbleweed. Yo, did you see the size of that tumbleweed? Holy cow. So anytime you have something that's fiberglass with fuel inside of it, that's like you're dealing with like a wick basically. It's sucking all that gasoline into it and burning it. It's pretty high temperatures too. Every time we've been on a fire with an RV or a boat, it's always been very hot. So kind of a dangerous thing. But everybody made it out, which is great. We did see a propane tank go off when we got there. Initially, there was a big propane tank that went boink. Wasn't that big, probably just a little, maybe a 4-gallon, 3.5-gallon, something like that. So not a huge propane tank, but still, hazards like that are always present on those types of fires. So that's why you didn't see us getting too into it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, LAPD setting up crime scene tape. I mean, whatever. If the fire department wants to keep the public out, that's fine. And then I go, is it a crime scene? He goes, well, we don't know yet. And it's like, okay, it's not. They did primaries and secondaries. We know there's no victims. It's just, I don't know. Again, they don't deal with media a lot in the harbor, so they're not super educated on what the laws in California are and what we are there to do and what we're allowed to do. So, like I said at the car earlier, you got to pick your battles. I'm not going to sit there and waste time in the harbor and get crazy with these guys. It's like, okay, you're uneducated on the issue. It looks bad, but it's on him, so whatever. But we are clear and we're heading back into LA. The wind down here is crazy too. It's like super, super windy, so I'm not sure what that's about. We are out of here onto the next one. Well, before I say on to the next one, are there any questions, comments, concerns? Not a single question on that.
We gotta get the merch store out, but I want you to comment on that.
Oh, merch, yes, we're doing, Tay, you're exactly right. We are doing merch. We have hoodies, what is it? Hoodies, 2 t-shirts, and a hat.
Stickers.
And stickers, apparently. So, really cool stuff. That'll be available probably by the time this video airs. It'll be available, but it'll only be on monetized videos. Not every video that we have is monetized, unfortunately, but we do have our members who are incredibly supportive. You guys are amazing. And also, if you join as a member, you're watching this video a week before it gets released to the public. So super cool benefits there. You'll have a discount code and early access to the merch store that we're doing, obviously. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's great. It's nice to have the support. So when YouTube decides, oh, that's a little too edgy for the internet, too edgy for the internet, right? Think about that one. They go, it's too edgy for the internet. We can't do this. Then yeah, that's where the members step up, and they've always you guys have always taken care of us. So really, really grateful for that. And yeah, Tay worked her butt off on the merch store. So buy a hoodie. I'm gonna get a hoodie for sure. I'm gonna wear that thing all the time. Code 20 stuff is gonna be really neat. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys are amazing, as always. We're either on to the next one, or Alex will cut it right here. I don't know. He's a scary editor when it comes to this kind of thing. I never know what he's gonna do. Is this the end of the episode, or are we going to another incident? You're gonna find out with me. So either way, here we go.